What is going on, everybody? Show of the King here. I know I've been gone for a minute, but now I'm back. And I'm here to bring you my review for Bleach Chapter 520. Gotta tell you, just before I get started on the chapter review, I'm going to give you guys a few updates. I know I got a couple of personal messages about why I didn't do a chapter review last week. Uh, as we're getting close to the end of the year, work is getting really busy. It's getting really hard to try and get these things out at a reasonable time. So, and last week chapters were decent, but I didn't really feel like a lot had happened that required me to really, break what I was doing to come down and do a review. Um, some that kind of stuff will happen from time to time. I do apologize, but life goes on. So I did feel like after reading both the Naruto and the Bleach chapter this week that they definitely warranted a review. I was very excited and just wanted to come down and go ahead and give you guys a review. Also, there will be a channel revamp. I will be introducing some new segments. There will be some design changes, just some little aesthetic things I'm going to be working on. Hopefully, I'll be able to debut them the last week of December, if not, the first of the new year. You look forward to that. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll have some new things because again, it's more about TV and manga. I want to start talking more about video games and movies. So just look out for that. But enough of that. The updates are done. Let's jump into this review for Bleach. All right, so I gotta say, one of the things I've been enjoying about this arc so far is just the story itself. Now, the battle chapters have been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it's this particular chapter 520. I actually really enjoyed this chapter. I just felt like the story progression was like a five. It wasn't one of those chapters where literally, there was there was a chapter a few weeks back where they actually debuted the Zero Squad, and literally it was a couple of pictures of the Zero Squad. They introduced themselves. Well, some of them introduced themselves. There was a couple of satirical, exchanges, and then that was pretty much it. I felt like it was a decent chapter. Everyone wanted to see the Zero Squad, but we didn't get enough story progression there. This chapter completely changed that. It starts off with Ichigo still, and at the Spirit King's palace. Um, he's still getting healed by one of the healer of the Zero Squad, and they're basically he has his subordinates holding Ichigo underwater, and I guess he wanted them to count to 100. So he's holding Ichigo under the water. Ichigo can only count to about 92 before he comes shooting out of the water. Gasping for air, and the guy pushes him back down and says you should be able to hold your breath for at least 100 seconds. Blah blah blah. And, Ichigo pops back out. The Zero Squad member stands up and gives Ichigo a really hard punch, and as he hits Ichigo, of course Ichigo goes flying across the blood pond, and he immediately pops up and it's like, what the hell are you doing? And the guy informs him that hey, you're healed. So Ichigo is like, oh. He's like, check out your wounds. They're healed. You're good. You can go on to the next level. Then we get Renji pops out of the blood pond, and the blood pond is where you're getting your blood introduced into your body. It's been cleaned. Again, it's almost like a dialysis process. I know a lot of you guys don't know what dialysis is, so I won't really bore you with the details, but that's kind of how the process worked in the blood pond. So Renji apparently is healed and is ready to move on with Ichigo. So of course the Zero Squad member, he's just like, well, let's test you out, and he gives Renji a shot to the gut, and thinking that Renji's gonna go flying, but Renji did not. Renji just took the punch to the chest and was just standing there smiling, and it even surprised Juro, I believe his name is Ajuro. I could be butchering the Zero Squad member's name. I think his name is Ajuro, but if I'm wrong, you guys will come, just let me know in the comment section below. So Juro was surprised and was like, wow, he took my punch and didn't even fly away. This is really impressive. And you could also tell though that Renji's hand was trembling, so he clearly braced himself for that punch when he saw it coming, which is fine. Again, like the reason I want to stop there for a while and just talk a little bit about Renji. Renji had always been a character that I really enjoyed in Bleach. I felt like he was just one of those badasses that deserved a lot more respect in the series. And I felt like right up until the point when he got his Bankai, I felt like his character development kind of dropped off drastically. We started, focusing more on the captains and things of that nature. And I felt like his progression had slowed. Like, it was just like from the moment when him and Ichigo first met, and they were like, immediate rivals to the point of when he got his Bankai. And I guess the issue that I had with Renji was his actual Bankai. I felt like it was kind of cool, but it wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't practical. I felt like his Bankai, the whole snake, the whole snake monkey thing was cool and all, but it wasn't really practical for, combat, close combat fighting. It usually was just about him, throwing it around and trying to have it grab the person or shoot a beam at the person. I just thought it wasn't practical for close combat. And I really thought that Renji was that kind of fighter, and I really wanted him to kind of get that change thing going. Now, what I'm hoping is that he gets a Bankai upgrade, because again, remember his Bankai was stolen, so I'm assuming that if he's following Ichigo, he's gonna try to find a way to get a new sword or get a new Bankai or whatever the case may be. Because remember, you cannot repair your Bankai; it can only change. So what I'm thinking is that Rukia, Byakuya, and Renji are all going to get new Bankais. Now, this is just speculation, but this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Because out of the three of them, they're the ones that, well, you know what, except Rukia. So maybe Rukia would just get a power up, but, and again, like I said, she hasn't learned Bankai, so maybe this power up would allow her to use Bankai, which would be fantastic. I would love to see Rukia get Bankai. I definitely think Renji and Byakuya will get a new Bankais. And I'm hoping that Renji's new Bankai is fantastic. It's not the same little, snake monkey thing. I'm hoping more of a tactical weapon. You can still have, elements of, Zabimaru, but just give it a more, combative look to it, where he can fight well close up and as well as fight, far away. So we'll see how that goes. We didn't really hear anything else about Byakuya. I mean, as badly damaged as he was, he'd probably still be soaking in that water too. I would think that Rukia would get out too, because I didn't think she took. I knew she took massive damage, but I didn't think it was bad as Renji, or damn sure wasn't as bad as Byakuya. So I would expect the next person they would highlight would be Rukia, but we'll see. So they get shot up to the new level of wherever they're going. We don't know yet, but one thing, Tajuro, again, if I'm mispronouncing his name, please, just let me know. Don't crucify me. But he notates to his subordinates that, both of these guys are very impressive, especially Ichigo. Apparently when he punched Ichigo, and Ichigo was able to just bounce back like it was nothing, he cracked his hand. And we know this because he ended up having to put his own hand in his rejuvenation water to heal it. So him hitting Ichigo cracked his own hand. So that just goes to show you, if a Zero Squad member cracks their hand punching you, Ichigo must be strong as hell, or Ichigo must have gotten some sort of power up. It's starting to seem like they have like this water has this like Dragon Ball or like Saiyan effect, because Saiyans get stronger after every battle. So anytime they take massive amounts of damage and they heal, they get stronger. And it seems like that's what's happening here in Bleach. This water is improving their stamina and their overall power. And again, like I said, I enjoy it. I'm a huge fan of power-ups. I think it's necessary to progress stories, because in these kind of mangas where people are fighting increasingly more dangerous opponents, you need to see that kind of progression from the actual hero to see how to, to fathom how they're going to fight. Because think about it. If Renji came out of that water the exact same way he did before, he had to fight at Soul Society. What's the point of him even being there? You know what I mean? If he's not getting a power up, then there's no point in him fighting any of the Von Rich, the Quincy's, because he wouldn't stand a chance again. So it's just that Renji needs a power up. That's what power ups are for. I mean, it makes the hero character have something to strive for. Just like if there were no power ups, how would the Z fighters beat Cell? How would they beat Frieza? The list goes on and on and on. Now, one of the other huge things this week was we find out that we now have a new vice captain, captain commander of the 13 Court Guard squads. It is the former head captain of Squad 1. Nano-chan is now the vice captain / leader of, of the first Court Guard squad, and he has assigned another vice captain to help her out with the duties. The big thing here is one of his first orders is to teach Zaraki Kenpachi the art of killing. I gotta tell you, when I just heard Zaraki Kenpachi's name, my blood just started boiling. I just felt everything just building up, and I was like, Kenpachi! If you guys don't know already, I am a huge Zaraki Kenpachi fan, and he is one of the main reasons why I watch and read Bleach. I'll just put it out there. So to hear his name in general just sends the rage and the blood going through my body, because I can't wait to see Kenpachi come back. I know he's got to be bummed out about his loss that he took to not even to Buckbeard himself, but the little guy that can transfer his body to him. So I know he's got to kind of be bummed out. So we'll see how receptive he is to his new training. Now, the even bigger story here, in my opinion, is at the end of this chapter, we find out that Unohana is the first Kenpachi. I gotta tell you, I did not see that shit coming. Everyone kept talking about slyly how strong she was, but no one really knew. Again, I've seen the Bleach data books, and they've shown Unohana's power scale, her power scale on the thing, and it was off the chart, and it was higher than Kenpachi. But I guess just as you've seen it in the story, you've never seen her fight, you've never really seen her interact or have any sort of real battle. She would just always give people those looks, and then they would just scare the hell out of them. So now knowing this, she is the strongest of the 13 Court Guard squads. She is the first Kenpachi, and she's going to be the one in charge of training Zaraki. I don't even know if I can call him Zaraki Kenpachi anymore, because, well, I guess I can still call him Zaraki Kenpachi. I'm just going to address Unohana as the first Kenpachi Unohana. That's how I'm going to, that's who she is to me now. So that to me was probably the biggest shock and probably the best part of the chapter to me. Just finding that she is the strongest of the Shinigami. It just opens up so many questions, like, why did Captain Commander Yamamoto prevent her from hitting the battlefield, knowing that she was the strongest? Was he just knowing was going to happen, and he wanted to reserve her for the second counterattack if necessary, or if he failed? That's kind of where I was kind of going with it, because I would think that you don't want to put two of your best out there, and if you lose both her and Captain Commander, then the 13 Court Guard squads, you can't really afford to lose those two people. So in hindsight, I guess it did make sense for her to stay on the battlefield. But I can tell you now, when the Quincy's come back for the second fight, it won't go as well as they think it's going to go. I'm telling you now, Unohana will hit the battlefield, and all hell will break loose. So again, like I said, I guess you don't need to hear me say it, but I'll say it anyway. This chapter of Bleach gets a 4.5 out of 5. It was damn near flawless. I really enjoyed it. I want to know what you guys thought about the chapter. Were you guys as shocked as I was about hearing about Unohana? Let me know in the comment section below. Definitely rate the video with a thumbs up if you would, if you enjoyed it. If not, just a thumbs up anyway. And also subscribe to my channel. This definitely helps me keep things going. and I will be bringing you guys more content and a new design change coming up soon. So definitely look out for that. Oh, also look out for my Naruto chapter review. It'll probably be later on this afternoon / evening because I do have to go to work. I definitely wanted to get this Bleach one out to you guys right now though. So, Shown Up the King, the one and only, and you guys have a fantastic day.